Christopher Columbus arrived in America in 1492. He was looking for a new route to Asia. He landed in the Caribbean, not knowing he had found a new continent. Europeans called it the New World. Europeans began to explore and settle in America. They came from England, Spain, France, and other countries. They wanted land, resources, and wealth. They clashed with the Native Americans who were already living there. Millions of Native Americans died from diseases brought by Europeans. Many were forced into slavery or killed in wars. Their land was taken, and their cultures were disrupted. This was a tragic period in American history. The colonists started farms and businesses. They relied on enslaved Africans for labor. This brutal system of slavery would become a major source of conflict in the centuries to come. The American colonies grew over time. They developed their own identities and economies. They began to resent British rule. The British government imposed taxes and restrictions on the colonies. Tensions grew between the colonists and Great Britain. Colonists protested against British policies. They boycotted British goods and organized militias. Leaders like Patrick Henry and Samuel Adams emerged, calling for independence. In 1775, the American Revolutionary War began. The colonists fought for their freedom against the powerful British Army. The war lasted for 8 long years. It was a difficult fight for the colonists. The Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. It declared that the colonies were independent from Great Britain. The Declaration of Independence proclaimed that all men are created equal. This was a bold statement that would inspire future generations. After the Revolutionary War, the United States became a new nation. It faced many challenges. The young country had to create a government and a stable economy. It also had to deal with the issue of slavery. Slavery divided the nation. The North opposed slavery, while the South relied on it for its economy. Tensions over slavery grew stronger over time. The abolitionist movement gained momentum, calling for the end of slavery. In 1861, the Civil War broke out. The North and the South fought a bloody war over slavery and states' rights. The war lasted for 4 years and resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Americans. The North emerged victorious in 1865. Slavery was abolished and the country was reunited. However, the legacy of slavery and racism would continue to haunt America for generations to come. Section 4. World Wars and Global Power. The United States grew rapidly in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It became an industrial powerhouse and, well, a global player. The country expanded westward, often at the expense of Native American tribes. In the early 20th century, the United States was drawn into 2 world wars. World War I began in Europe in 1914. The United States initially remained neutral, but joined the war in 1917 on the side of the Allies. World War II erupted in 1939. The United States entered the war in 1941 after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. The United States played a decisive role in defeating the Axis powers. After World War II, the United States emerged as a superpower. It became a leader in the fight against communism during the Cold War. The country also experienced significant social and cultural changes during this period. Section 5. The Fight for Equality. Despite progress in many areas, the United States still faced deep-seated inequality and discrimination. African Americans in particular continued to experience segregation, disenfranchisement, and violence. The civil rights movement gained momentum in the 1950s and 1960s. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. advocated for nonviolent resistance and racial equality. The movement achieved significant victories, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. However, the struggle for equality is ongoing. The United States continues to grapple with issues of race, class, gender, and other forms of inequality. The fight for social justice remains a central theme in American history. Section 6. America Today. Today, the United States is a diverse and complex nation. It is a global leader in technology, innovation, and culture. However, it also faces numerous challenges, including economic inequality, political polarization, and climate change. The United States remains a work in progress. Its history is a testament to the ongoing struggle for freedom, equality, and justice. The country's future will depend on its ability to address its challenges and live up to its ideals.